All right, welcome to Sage-Based Wisdom. I'm Jana Schmieding.
And I'm Brian Bahe.
And we're podcasting to you from the sacred homelands of Mendocino Farms. Mendocino?
Mendocino.
Steve and I call it Mendocino because we're real Italians.
Today, we'll be giving you, our listeners, some advice cultivated indigenously from our backgrounds in gasoline
and beverage collection. We have a special guest. You have seen her on this very podcast before. She's a therapist and a friend of mine, and we're going to tell some hilarious stories about our favorite restaurant / unfavorite restaurant, most least favorite restaurant, El Torito. Give it up for Minnie Goode.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me back.
Yeah. But first, I want to jump into this El Torito story.
Okay,
before we jump into our
because El Torito, you guys started talking. You were talking, but
pre-pod. We were having a full convo about our days in El Torito. El Torito is a Tex-Mex chain restaurant that is sort of all over the West Coast, but it could be. I think I saw one in maybe in Oklahoma. I'm not really sure where it's sort of what its regions.
They're heavy in Oregon though.
Yeah.
And light here.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense because I had never heard of this place ever.
Yeah.
And I consider myself somebody very well versed in the Mexican Tex-Mex space.
Yes. Okay. Well, I feel so honored to introduce El Torito to you, Brian. I would love to take you on a date to El Torito sometime. There's one right near us. But Minnie and I lived together in college, and she was a senior in college and I was a freshman in college, I think.
I think junior and
freshman.
Yeah.
And we were both studying theater, and she had a job at the El Torito in the town where our thing was. And you got fired, right?
Oh, I think I did.
Didn't you?
I must have because I did. Well, I did a lot of things I should have gotten fired for. No, I don't think I stormed out. I actually don't even. I think it must have been a firing.
I think you
this
kind of
is
did
the
get
story
fired.
You want. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay. So first of all, we had two other roommates. It was a fucking sorority. It was the coolest sorority you could have ever lived in. It was 4 broads, myself, Minnie, Tasha, who now lives in Vancouver,
Alpha
BC.
Sigma.
It was called the Friendly House. Actually.
It was called the Friendly House because it was on a street called Friendly Street, and so we were called the Friendly House. And we partied so fucking hard. My sister lived with us, so it was a very sisterly vibe. And we had so much shit went down in that house constantly.
We would have such big parties that we would have to take our recycling, like all the bottles and the cans and the trash, and we didn't even have trash service because we were trash, and we would drive it to an apartment complex and dump it because it was so much stuff that we needed to get rid of.
That's so funny.
Yes, we had a giant trampoline in our side yard. What the hell? We were legitimately living old school, but it was
wait, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was such a fucking cool house. But anyway,
and our rent was $212 each a month.
Yes. Okay, so this is
it's a long time ago.
This is back in the day. We're talking about the year 2000.
We've been
turn of the
friends for a
century.
long time.
Turn of the
so
century
funny.
vibes. Okay, so
I worked at El Torito.
Minnie worked at El Torito.
I was a cocktail waitress. It was my first cocktail waitressing job, and I had to work brunch on Sundays where it was bottomless mimosa brunches. I would have these massive trays filled with 40 or 50 champagne flutes of, filled to the brim.
I mean, what a training.
People getting absolutely shit-faced. At one point, this guy, I was behind you, and I'm leaning in to put the champagne flutes down. He just backs his chair up into me. I wibble wobble the whole tray. All of it crashes down on him, breaks all over. Everyone at the table was laughing at him. She said behind you, dude. And he didn't care. And then I did not get fired for that. There was also a manager there who closed the door. He was come in the office. I want to talk to you. Close the door. Does a whippet in front of me. Offers me one. I don't even know what whippets are. I was just watching him go. And I just was terrified. I was no, I have to go. So didn't get fired for saying no to him either. Somehow didn't get fired for not doing the whip it, but
Yes.
did get fired for the night that I think I'd had like a horribly long, terrible day. And Tasha, our roommate, had
Yes.
come in because she was dating one of the bartenders.
Yes. It was a whole ecosystem of El
This
Torito.
sounds, yeah.
really
Meanwhile, I am getting high at home every single day, 5 times a day. I'm living in my sweatpants. If I'm not in class, I'm at home with Minnie's cat, Chubby, and I'm laying on the couch taking massive bong rips all day fucking long. And I'm begging Minnie
Waiting for me
and
to get
Tasha's
home.
boyfriend to bring home chips and salsa.
Which we did,
Which they did.
massive quantities.
Garbage bags full
That's
of chips and
amazing.
salsa. I love you, El Torito. Sponsor our podcast and give me free chips and salsa. I will fucking plug you till the day I die.
You
bitch.
need to start doing commercials. If El Torito doesn't hire you to do commercials for them,
El Torito, where you can get chips and salsa and deep fried ice cream balls.
balls,
Until
balls.
10
Balls.
p.m.
Until 10 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, so this one particular night, Tasha came in to visit her boyfriend. I was off work. It was a bad day. She's like, oh, let's smoke some weed while we're waiting for Adam to get done or whatever. So we go out with the bus boys into the dumpster area on the side of the building. It
Also,
was kind of like,
side note, Tasha broke
I was
her
just
toe.
about to say this.
And she was wearing a boot.
She has a boot on.
And also she came to El Torito a lot because her boyfriend worked there.
Yeah.
So they know kind of Tasha. It's the cute girl with the boot.
You just hear this like
Yes.
Yeah.
on
yeah.
the wooden floor.
Absolutely, yeah. And
Very
she
much.
was, yeah, it was like a whole thing. So we're back there, we're smoking weed. My manager, Whippet guy, comes out and sees us, and we go, oh no, run! And we ran down the alley all the way across the whole back of the building, but she's like, don't, clip clop, clip clop. And he just basically is watching us run for an entire El Torito's width, you know. Minnie, Tasha, we can see you. She's just still running. I'm like, come on. We hid in the parking lot, so we're just high. And I did get fired. I did get fired, I think,
Yeah,
the next
then you
day
got
after
You
that.
got fired for that?
I'm pretty sure I did. Yes,
you
if
weren't
you
even
remember,
on
I
the-
did. I blocked that
You
part
literally
out.
got fired on your day off.
Oh, yeah. No, I think I had been working and I was
Oh,
done.
okay.
Yeah.
May have even been
were
in the uniform
done.
still.
Okay.
I was off.
But what? That's crazy.
You know,
now weed is legal.
It's
Maybe you
Yeah.
didn't get fired.
I think probably I did, if you remember it. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
he
I
can't
blocked
prove
it out.
anything.
No.
He can't prove anything. And honestly, like,
I may have just quit out of embarrassment. I think that's actually what happened. I think I just didn't go back because I was humiliated that we ran.
you ran in broad daylight, in plain sight,
Yeah.
away from a person who was
Who
just
is-
calling your name.
Yep.
From a 22-year-old
Yeah.
who does whip it.
Yeah. Yeah.
from
was
your
doing
22-year-old manager who does whippets. What a vibe. I loved college. I love college. Everybody, I wish college was more affordable for you because college fucking rules, but
I think we had it good though because the teens that I know now freaked out. So I work with a lot of teens in my practice as a therapist, and they are so terrified of being perfect, getting into the best colleges, getting into like
Yeah.
really early on in a way that I thought that was just for people who could afford to be, you know, freaked out about like going to Harvard
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
This is like any kid, all kids. This is
I
how they
know.
feel now.
It's so cutthroat now and also unnecessarily so. And I think, I don't know, it's also just, it's not expensive and the world is not doing the work of making living affordable enough for young people so that when they get out of college, they can pay off their student loans or, you know,
Yeah.
first of all, there shouldn't be fucking student loans like this. Thanks fucking Reagan or Bush or whoever started student loans. There weren't student loans before.
What's crazy
Right.
is like when I go to a different city or something to do like for whatever reason for like stand up or something, I'll look up to see like how much like rent is there. And it's kind of the same
It's similar,
everywhere.
yeah.
It's all fucking
Yeah.
expensive to live everywhere.
It's
and I'm like,
actually
this is
like
so
kind
crazy.
of impossible to be a person in your like 20s and 30s right now and live alone.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
You're living with
do
your family.
it.
Also,
Yeah.
you're living with your family.
You live with
Yeah.
your family, or your rich family pays for your rent, so you can live alone.
Or you have roommates. And
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's how I lived for so long until I basically moved here. But even when I first moved to LA, I still had roommates, and I was like well into my 30s.
I still have roommates.
I know.
Yeah. He's cool, though.
I guess my husband's technically a roommate. I mean, we contribute to the bills together, you know?
Yeah. Totally. I keep begging my boyfriend to move in with me, but he's like, I got my own place. I don't know. That's a whole different topic. Anyway.
That's interesting, though.
It is.
I feel like I've talked to like some like older gay men, and they like have different apartments in the same city. And I'm like, that
They
seems
don't. You're
Like
saying that they
couples?
don't come.
yeah,
with
they're like
kids?
married.
Oh, married.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's fascinating.
Do they have open relationships? Is that
They
why?
must.
They must.
They
must.
must. But it's also like, at that point, it's like, why are you married?
That's
Do you guys
excessive.
hate
Like,
each
can we
other?
have one of those apartments, please? Actually, we
Yeah,
don't
let
need
me.
it.
I'm like, let me live here.
Yeah.
And you go live with your husband,
Shack
your
up.
betrothed.
Shack up.
Yeah.
My question is, what is the point of marriage other than sort of just like combining your life and like living together and like having that experience?
That's I don't
Is
know.
there there another perk that I'm?
Maybe they have different aesthetics, and they're kind of
Yeah, but that's why you have different rooms. Every room can be a different aesthetic, guys. Anyway, okay, we need to get to our
Oh yeah. Okay.
our algorithm. So before we again pre-pod, we were talking
Pre-pod.
about how our algorithm is completely full, and John can weigh in because John's a huge fan of this show too. Our algorithm is full of Love on the Spectrum, the most recent season of Love on the
LOS.
Spectrum.
My favorite.
And I've also seen like Trixie and Katya commenting on Love on the Spectrum. Like a lot of podcasts are commenting on this season of Love on the Spectrum because it is simply
It's so good.
blockbuster.
It's the most delightful.
It's incredible television.
yeah.
Um,
The only
Were you guys
thing-
fans before?
no.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because
I
I watched
wasn't.
it from day one.
I'm new
Like,
to this.
wait,
not true
you
to this.
just started with this season?
I just started with this season because
Oh,
of
you gotta go back. You
because
gotta
I
go
got
back.
so many Connor clips on my my
On your
algorithm.
algorithm, yeah.
And then I was like, I can't. I'm like, this feels crazy to watch. And then one day I watched it and I was like, this is amazing.
It's
Yeah.
the most heartwarming, gives me life, gives me purpose and reason to live. I watched that show over and over.
Yeah.
When
Over
I was
and
waiting
over.
for season 3 to come out, the tile would be like, next up in your, I'm like, yes, it's out. And it wasn't for like 4 months. I just was like so excited for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, it's out and it's all up in our algorithm. So here we go. I'm gonna show you guys from my phone here.
See, this y'all problem right here. If more of y'all would just date like the folks on Love on the Spectrum, you wouldn't be walking around here with your heart broke all the time. Because they don't care. When they make a boundary, they gonna stick to it. They gonna stand on business, big business every time. You hear me? They don't care what somebody got going on. Motherfucker, I said, if you're not gonna stand out here and watch these trains with me every day, you can go on beat feet. We can't beat if you can't watch these trains. Oh, your favorite animals aren't horses? Well, you can go and kiss my hind parts goodbye. We can be friends, but that's it. I'm out of here. Oh, you're not fascinated by space? We're gonna create some. Beat it. Scram. Hey, I'm telling you. Meanwhile, you letting a woman with one singular headband wig run you ragged. You letting the dude with 2 pair of jeans and 1 pair of shoes and they non-slip take you down through there. Hey, you gotta watch Love on the Spectrum and get hip. Take some hints from them. They got the game figured out. See this, y'all?
Oh, he's so right. They do have very strong no's.
Yes.
They know what they want. They know it's important to them. And I think, Danny got a lot of heat for really wanting to bang. She wanted to fuck. And there is nothing wrong with that. And she
No.
waited for it on for a long time. She, put her needs aside to let that grow. And then she was like, it has come to the end. It has come to the end of how long I can wait. I need to fuck. And it's not going to be you, Anon. So bye.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I know. I do love how boundaried they are, and I wonder if they struggle with their own boundaries. It doesn't seem like they do, but I wonder if they are ever like, feel rejected sort of by each other's
yeah.
firm boundaries.
Yeah.
I think it's probably about a lot of unlearning too, in a way, to come to accept your firm boundaries, especially when you've been told by our culture, like, oh, you're so rigid, or you think in black and white, or you have these like rigid, things that you need to be a certain way because you are autistic.
Right.
And that's not how neurotypical people act, so you need to be more flexible, or you need to have less rigidity around things, when actually no, I just kind of want to have the things how I want to have them, and that makes sense to me, instead of being so people pleasy or getting along.
Right.
I bet it's a lot of unlearning for them too, if they're feeling that the way that you're asking.
Yeah. What were your reflections upon being a newcomer to Love on the Spectrum?
I love it.
Yeah. What about it do you love?
It's just like it's kind of what you think dating is going to be like as a kid, like watching TV and like but like that's their actual life. And you're just kind of like they're creating it for themselves. And I'm like, whoa, that's amazing.
It does, to me, like give me faith that like, oh, we can fucking create our own reality, like in a really real way. We just have to be earnest about it.
I will say
unafraid of being earnest about how we feel.
Being shocked when someone's like, wait, huh? You do? You like me back? Or you like, it's just amazing to be that open to about being excited about somebody saying, yes, would you like to go out again? Yes, I would. Oh, you would? Yes. Like, okay, cool. Why not? My husband and I have been doing autistic kisses based on the show, where we just
Whoa. Wait, what does that mean?
It just like is a kiss that goes on like this. and like whoever breaks first, it just gets to
is less autistic.
That's incredible.
Well, yeah, I'll just lay there like I just love it. It feels so good.
It's like two hours later.
Yeah, it's great.
You're both late for work.
Yeah. No, he breaks every time. He like laughs. He's like, "You just like it too much." I'm like, I don't know what to say, dude. Keep going.
Damn. Wait, I wonder if. Okay, so wait, what you guys were saying made sense to me in a way that I just putting together.
Okay.
About the firm boundaries part. Like, I don't know what my I don't know if I can articulate what my boundaries are.
Oh no.
But
oh dear. Oh, what?
Right.
I feel them. And so sometimes if I'm on a date with somebody or I've been like dating somebody.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm just like, oh, I'm not into you anymore. And it's just like it's like almost like
if
so
Love
sudden.
on the Spectrum were happening at that moment, you would basically just be like,
well, this is over now.
In a way, I do that.
How?
Because I'm like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But are you like, okay, I gotta go?
No.
How do you let's role play, Brian. Here we go. Anyway, I was just saying to my boss how fucked up that was.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta go work tomorrow.
Oh. Okay.
Well, can we see you again?
I thought you were coming home with me.
It's getting late. It's getting late. I gotta wake up early tomorrow.
Wow.
But this was fun. Let's hang out again.
Sure. You then offer to hang out again. You would set the boundary.
Yeah, would you say, let's hang out again?
Maybe if I was just trying to get out of it.
You'd walk it back.
Yeah.
But then I would walk it back.
Is that because you don't want to not be liked, or?
Just because I'm like, whatever gets me out of this quickest.
Okay. One might argue, based on the show, what might get you out of it quickest would be like, well, I can see that all we can be here is friends, and I don't even want to be that, so I'm going to go.
Yeah.
But actually, like, I'm kind of thinking, are you autistic?
Who knows? I've never been tested.
Oh.
Should I get tested?
Why not?
Oh my God.
If you are, you're fucking cool. You're top of the fucking
If I am,
top of the food
if
chain
I
right
am,
now.
I'm gonna submit
Yeah.
to Love on the Spectrum.
Oh my God, I would fucking Brian.
Cut to me in a year. We're doing this podcast, but there's
a backpack
there's a
full of
Netflix
dolls.
there's a Netflix camera.
I need you to do it because okay, no lie, but like when you talk about your dating experiences, I'm like, is Brian on the spectrum, okay? Because Minnie, I'm sure you heard the episode, but Brian does some crazy ass shit. He's just such a subtle person, and then he's going to a fucking
I called in
Sutra
because I had
fucking-
questions about. I had more questions, and I actually needed you to answer them, but my questions were not answered. I have many questions about the massage.
I saw that.
Oh, okay.
The massage.
Yeah, we can get into that for sure.
Oh, good. That's actually why I
I
wanted to
ask
come
questions for hours about it. I want every single fucking play-by-play.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I am so different from how, like, the thing that I love about the Love on the Spectrum is these people are moving through their dating lives with what seems to be an extraordinary amount of fear, but also this amazing sense of bravery. And absolutely not letting their fear prevent them from doing some of the hardest shit that we do as people, which is
for sure
opening up your life to love and being vulnerable in front of a potential romantic partner. It's so fucking terrifying. It's so terrifying that people like me avoid it for years and years and years. And you know, even in a partnership, it's hard to become open to that feeling with somebody you trust implicitly. But like, so these people are just like going for it and being so bold and so brave and doing like the most nerve-wracking things. But the way that they are sort of hacking the fear game is by being just brutally, earnestly honest and boundaried and like not offended when each other is like, this has been pleasant. I'm not interested. Bye.
I do think that like, I think the biggest downfall of dating is like when you actually are like ready to date and wanting to date and it is like a goal of yours, it kind of is fueled by like so much like, I'm lonely, I'm alone, I don't want to be alone anymore, I want a partner, that you are more willing to cave to things than like you normally would if you weren't like, you know, kind of at rock bottom in a way.
Do you mean like red flags just become pinker and pinker?
Yeah, and you're just like willing to just like, exactly. Stuff that you were firm on, you're a little softer
Yeah,
on.
you're like, they don't have a job. They might get one. It's fine.
Yeah, you're
Or-
like, and so, but I feel like on Love on the Spectrum, they're kind of just like, they are recognizing the red flags.
You know what else I think is an important thing? They are intrinsically motivated by connection, interest, shared interest, and not even necessarily like banter or ability to communicate, like because it's super awkward. But the couples who've coupled up did have this like amazing ability to just like communicate easily and openly and authentically. But it was based on shared interests. It's not based on physical appearance. It's not based on like, you know, flirting or saying the right thing. It's literally just like, okay, so what's the thing you like? And then, oh my God, my favorite is, I can't remember the couple's name, but what key is this in? C minor.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God! Like,
And they just
what
go
key is
on
this in?
and on
D
and
flat.
on.
What key is this in? F. And then she tells people, and he can do this thing, and she tells everybody like that's what's amazing about him. Like she loves the thing that's amazing about him, that is amazing about him. Then just
Damn.
finds it to be so delightful. It's so cute.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. That's what love should be built on, is your interest and what you're good at and what you see that's amazing about the other person. Who cares what they look like? You know, they're not even looking at physical attraction. I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if that comes because they have a connection.
For sure.
Right.
That's my theory about love anyway.
Interesting.
I have a theory.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I feel like I'm on TikTok a lot. A lot these past few months, I would say.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like on fashion TikTok, and everybody's like kind of like Gen Z, everybody dresses the same because everybody's like consuming the same content and nobody wants to be different.
How are they dressing?
Yeah.
It's kind of just like wide leg denim and leather jackets and like, you know, a white crop top or something.
They're just pulling from the 90s though, so.
Yeah, but it's like, there's like videos of like girls in New York on a Friday night and it's like they all look the same.
Yeah. I've seen those videos.
You know? And I feel like everybody's kind of just like basing their outward identity or like how they're perceived, like they're basing it on what they're consuming. And I almost feel like that's kind of like what's happening in dating and relationships and stuff. Like everybody they saw a couple on social media or something, and they're trying to replicate that for themselves, even though it might not even be what they want, really.
So you're saying that the premise of our very podcast is actually the sort of the notion of like advice and how we should be living is coming from social media, and that it's basically creating a monoculture in many ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is happening with sex too, where young people are watching porn and thinking you gotta choke a bitch out to get her off. Thinking you have to just do the rawest
they're right.
Anal first time.
Finally, somebody's saying it.
But I'm saying, when you're 14,
Yeah. Oh no. Porn?
you don't need to be gagging on a D,
Yeah.
you know,
No.
and like on several Ds. You don't need to be getting like
No,
railed
you
by
don't need to
2
be
dudes
being
at one
gangbanged.
time.
Absolutely.
But this is the pressure that young people are
Yes.
experiencing.
Save something for your 60s.
Yeah, try just try an
Brian's like,
autistic kiss.
wait, that's
Try an
not
autistic
what
kiss.
we're supposed to be doing.
You gotta work into that. You gotta ease into it. You gotta be in your 30s or 40s.
Before you
Yeah.
get choked out.
There's like slap culture I've seen on TikTok where like girls are
Damn.
just like,
All because of NBC's The Slap. NBC's The Slap is the reason teens are slapping each other in the bedroom.
Fuck NBC's The Slap. You're canceled.
God,
I don't even know what NBC's
Yeah,
The Slap is. What is it?
I don't
it
know
a
how
game
many.
show?
No, it's a TV show, and I think it's based on a guy at like a barbecue slapping somebody else's child to like discipline him or something, and everybody at the barbecue just like watches in horror as it happens. And then
I'm sorry, it's a narrative television show?
yeah,
is it a comedy?
I think so. Yeah.
No, it's a courtroom. I think it's like a courtroom drama.
Oh, really?
It's like about the case, I think.
Whoa.
Remember the trailer?
Yeah.
Oh.
I only remember the trailer.
Oh,
Explore
I
it
do
from all the
love
different
Zachary
angles. If he signed on, it might be good.
Yeah.
Is he the guy who
Maybe.
slaps the kid?
Zach Quinto's
That's
slapper.
so funny.
It's all based on a slap. Okay, interesting.
Community discipline, breaking it
Yeah.
down.
Takes a village.
Ugh. Weird. Okay. I think that this might dovetail nicely into our caller,
Oh yeah. Okay.
which we should take a gander at.
Hi, Jana. Hi, Brian. And hi, distinguished guests if they're present. So I am 20 years old. I'm living in New York. I actually came and saw you guys when you did your show here. And I have never been in a relationship before. Since I moved to the city a few months ago, I've been going on a lot of dates. Some have gone to second dates, some have gone to third, and some have even gone further. But there always reaches a point where this man, I'm heterosexual for context, tells me he's just looking for something casual. And then I always end it after that because I am looking for a relationship. And I have been unwilling to indulge anyone in this situationship culture that seems to rule this city. But it's gotten to a point now where I'm so sick of being alone, and I'm so sick of having to end these things with people that I otherwise really like. So I want to know if it's on me and I just have to acclimate to the situationship culture of this city, or if I should stick to my guns and be like, no, I want a relationship. Because once I investigate it, I'm like, do I just think that I want a relationship because of patriarchy, or because I don't know. So this is what I'm calling for advice about. Are situationships valid, or am I right for hating them? All right. Bye.
That was a literal LOL.
That was so cute. Damn.
I love you, anonymous caller. First of all,
Shout out to New York.
shout out. I dated in New York for a lot of years, and I couldn't. I wish that I wasn't 20 in New York, but I moved to New York when I was, I think, 23, or 22. So I was in New York in my 20s and 30s, and it was pretty brutal. Pretty fucking brutal. Dating in New York is hard. Dating anywhere is fucking hard. This is what I'm saying about love on the spectrum. It's like,
I will say, yeah,
it's universally hard.
it's bad.
And I don't know what the culture is like now, but I think I was on the precipice of app dating. It was like, it went from being an online dating like IRL only to sort of, you could dabble in online with like eHarmony, and there was like chemistry.com, and there was like
Farmers only.
yeah, farmers only, which had like infomercials late at night. And then
Christian Mingle.
wait, what did I say?
You said eHarmony.
eHarmony.
Is eHarmony still around? Because their success rate was pretty.
It was
pretty
popping.
good.
They were
Actually,
the
my
OG.
friend Abby met her husband on eHarmony.
Oh.
But I also remember eHarmony sort of having like a reputation for being like a kind of a Christian
That
thing.
makes sense.
But they had J-Date. J-Date was a
Shout
thing. Shout out. And then we were transitioning in like the 20-teens to sort of a Tinder was not around yet, but it was
Okay, Cupid.
OkCupid was like kind of one of the
Right.
first apps.
And
Right.
also just like Craigslist, just putting stuff out on Craigslist.
Yes, Craigslist was also a thing.
That was like
M4
That was
That
a
was
very
Grindr
gay thing.
before.
Yeah, that was
Grindr
gay.
before.
Grindr. That was Grindr before Grindr was Grindr. The history of dating, but
Can we also say, like, in my mom's day, she would put ads out in the Willamette Weekly, like,
Yeah, like the
or
local
respond
paper.
to them. That was like original app dating, was
That
putting
was
an ad out.
There's
Like,
something very cool about that.
it was cute.
and also
but-
remember when you made a VHS of yourself and you sent it to like a dating there like yes
I've seen the
there's, like,
outtakes from those.
yes, there are outtakes. You
Compilation,
can probably find on YouTube like old dating profile videos of people
Holy
setting up a
shit.
video camera, like a big VHS video camera, recording a tape, and then setting it into like a dating service that is basically
matchmaking.
Whoa.
Yes.
My name's
Wait.
Jay, and I enjoy trucks and lizards.
Yeah,
That
it's like,
sounds cool
Hi,
as
I'm
hell.
Martha. I'm recently divorced from my husband, and I am a needlepoint connoisseur, and I'm just looking for something casual,
No,
Yeah.
looking for a long time.
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
for a husband who can take care of me.
But, you know, this is the thing: is that dating as a thing it's never changed.
Yeah.
It's always been hard. It's always been something. People are pretending that they want casual.
And there's always people who want something serious,
Yes.
and there's people who want something casual.
Yes.
And I think that it's okay to want a relationship.
It's
I think most
absolutely-
people want relationships not because we've been, acculturated to want them, but because we're social creatures. We need relationships to survive. So
Right.
you might also want, to this caller, more relationships in your life too that are like strong foundational relationships. I don't know what your
Yes.
friendships are like, but I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting a relationship. I think it's meaningful to be. I mean, I've been married for 10 years and together with my husband for almost 20, and it's the best thing in my life. It's
Yeah.
like, amazing. It's wonderful to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
It feels like casual's out. Have you guys seen the clip that's been circulating this week of the guy from You?
No.
I forget his name. But he's doing some podcast and they're talking about casual dating. And he's kind of just like, is it ever really casual? Basically meaning like,
Right.
if you're dating somebody and it's casual, what that means is it's not really going. One of you knows that it's not going anywhere.
Or
And
one
doesn't-
person's pretending like it's okay.
That's what
Yeah.
I think she's asking is, are these people really fucking is everybody just wanting something casual, or is
they're
it a
just not
kind
into
way
me.
to say, is it a kind way to say, hey, I don't think this is a match?
It's not a kind way. It's a wussy ass way.
It is
to
a
do
wussy.
it.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, casual's crazy.
I think you get to just say yes or no. If you want casual, say yeah. If you don't want it, be out. And then you're just filtering through the people that are not right for you. So you'll end up finding someone who also wants a relationship. But there's also something to be said for like, if you want to keep hanging out with that person, you like them, it sucks to be giving up on that in a way.
Yeah, I think that I want to challenge this listener to maybe just try to be like, let's maybe try to move the conversation out of what do we want from this thing that we neither of us know is going to be a thing at all, into like, I'm just looking to connect with somebody. Like you said earlier, man, like we all are looking for some kind of a connection with somebody else. And that's baseline. Fundamentally, that's what the fucking point is, right? We are all just looking for some kind of connection with somebody. How that looks depends on so many fucking factors, and how it develops also depends on so many fucking factors. You could go into a relationship, both people being like, I want a serious relationship, and you agree that that's something you're interested in, and it might not work out.
Also, what do you want the relationship for? Is it to go on dates? Is it to like spend time with someone? Is it to have sex with someone? And are you doing all of those things with this person? Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Be in it now. And is it like an anxiety-based, future-focused, I also want to get married and I want to have kids and I want these things that I think I can only do with one person, so I'm like looking for that person to do that with? But that happens and develops naturally when you are working on the relationship you're in right now, which is like deepening the connection and like really falling in love and like falling in like and really getting to know somebody. So if you're like, I want a relationship and that's it, it doesn't make sense. You're not going to get it.
Right.
You're not going to get it with a random person. You have to like get to know them.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think it's just like anxiety focused, future focused, fears that tell you like, I have to know that you're in this for the long haul. What if this person sucks? Like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You gotta kiss a few frogs.
Oh my God, I can't tell
prince.
you how many that's the fucking theme of New York City dating. You gotta kiss a few frogs. Everybody's a fucking frog. I'm a fucking frog, bro. Kiss me.
New York City is like so, it's very wild. Like in terms of just like,
it's
in bad.
It's so hard because you really are truly putting your life in danger by going out into the busy city streets of New York, and you're going on a random date with a stranger that you otherwise will never cross paths with potentially. That's the other hard thing. And going back to Love on the Spectrum about New York is the only thing that it's hard to find somebody with similar interests in New York because people have such specified interests there. It's not just like LA, I find like might be a little bit, I guess, easier, quote unquote, to date, but like this is such an industry city. It's such a TV film industry city that we're all sort of here kind of doing a similar thing. There's very few people, unless there's a lot of people who are not doing this, of course, but they live in the neighborhoods out there. You know, they're like, you know, it's just not New York City. People are there for finance. They're there for, I was there as an educator. They're there for the, comedy. They're there for whatever.
The UN.
Yeah, the UN. Like politics, whatever. Like people are so, and everybody is in their fucking grind. Everybody is like singularly focused on their fucking thing, and they're just like doing the hardest thing that they could do. It's such a hard city to live in, and it's such an ambitious city that is like the common thread among New York City. But
totally.
It's really hard to go out into the world and be like, I'm just gonna fucking throw my shit out there and see who is interested. But like, do you have any common interest with these people?
Well, you gotta go to a pottery class.
Yeah.
And then who's in the pottery class?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I like pottery, go to pottery. Like, that's where you find them. You like dance, go to a dance class, and then look around and be like, single?
I feel like here in LA, people have, it's more of a hobby place. Like you have the time and space to actually do a hobby, whereas in New York you don't, because like you said, everybody's doing.
New York is a hustle city.
Yeah, so it's really hard.
In fact, I cannot think of a pottery place. I can think of two different pottery places in LA off the top of my head.
I can think of two.
Like 15, but that's because I looked it up recently.
But I know I can ask somebody who knows a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like in New York, it's like, where are we going to like play basketball on the weekend.
I think it's almost like, this is crazy because this is me not taking my own advice, but it's kind of like almost date where you work.
I did. What have I told you the last time I was here?
Wait, did you say
Date your friends. Date your friends. Date your friends. But also date where you
Which
work.
I'm still slowly wrapping my head around the concept. And I'm opening myself up to the concept. But I do think it is kind of leading you down the right path.
These
because
are people
you
you
are
already
just like, you already like.
You like them.
You like the same people. So
Here she comes.
Miss, are you gonna be good, girl?
Oh, she gave me a little blink. Okay, we're good. We're good.
She's chill. The tail's looking fine. Okay. Anyway, the thing is, yes, we have to get used to, but and here's the problem with that too. It's hard to date people you know. Or are mingling with. Myself, when I was in New York, I was doing a lot of improv comedy, a lot of sketch comedy, and I had crushes on people who were truly the most froggiest of frogs. Okay.
the horniest frogs.
And these are people who were dating. There were a lot of just the froggiest of men in the comedy community in New York when I was living there that were wearing the ugliest fucking shoes. They were wearing ill-fitting clothing. They were just the most slovenly fucking comedy men who were banging the hottest young thing in the improv theater. And that was the trend when I was coming up. I was like, the fucking John over here fucking rubbing his, no, John.
What you're describing, that's like almost like hearing. It's like hearing like back when men were men, when they dressed slovenly,
exactly.
Their shoes
it's
reeked.
giving heterosexuality.
Now everyone's trying to be such a fucking pick me.
When I tell you, like, all of my jokes that I used to make was like, the stupidest, ugliest fucking men get chuckle fucked in comedy, and nobody's trying to chuckle fuck me. Why? I'm a fucking prize. And nobody's coming up to me after the show being like, "Ooh, hey, honey, like, you."
Because you gotta promise them things. You gotta promise them career success. You gotta promise them you can introduce them to people.
Because chuckle fucking is a patriarchal system, and it's based on power. It is not based on fuckability. So anyway, you are not adhering to the patriarchy to this caller. You're not adhering to the patriarchy because you want to be in a relationship and you want a connection with somebody. That is not the patriarchy.
No.
That is the antithesis of the patriarchy. The patriarchy is saying that you can only have a connection a certain way, or if you look a certain way, or if you act a certain way, or it only looks like one thing. But part of my process in New York City of dating was stopping dating. I stopped going on the apps. I stopped going online. I was just like, if it happens, it happens. If it happens IRL, like, I was exhaused by the app game.
I think that's such an awful way to do it.
It's hard.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Really,
and it's just like sorting. Like it.
I'm gonna say the apps are the fucking patriarchy, okay? And I was like an attractive, fat Native woman on the apps trying to like find people who had similar, it was just fucking hard. And it was here in LA too. And I don't know. I just think like, I want us all to be brave and do what they're doing on Love on the Spectrum.
Say what you want. Say what you want. Set some boundaries.
Say what you want.
Yeah.
Give your boundaries and fucking go on dates.
I think you need to double down on what it is you want, what it is you're looking for, and just kind of like trust the process in a way. I think it is important to like do stuff and to go out into the world, but I think it's like with like purpose in a way. Like, you can't go thinking like this, can't go to a place like because that is the place people go to meet people. I think you should go out and like do stuff you actually like to do and want to do.
Yeah.
Where you are kind of like being the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
In a way.
Also, you're 20.
20.
Were they
so
20?
much time.
20.
So much time. So much time.
Oh, I take back my. I take back what I said.
No, you can be lonely in your 20s. It's totally normal, okay? Because this is the other thing. When I hear gay men talk about like their dating lives, I'm like, again, your shit is so fucking different. It is so different to be a woman. It is.
Yeah.
It's so different to be a woman alone in a big city.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking different ball game. And I'm not saying either one is better or worse or easier or harder. It's hard no matter what. But I was so lonely in New York City that I wrote a solo show about it and I took it on the road, baby. Fucking, it is a real thing to be like, I'm never going to date again. Like I cannot meet somebody who I vibe with at all.
She doesn't seem like she's having a hard time meeting people. She
No,
seems like she's going on dates and having
Yes.
several of them and getting
True.
all the bases.
True.
And then being told later, I don't want something serious.
Right.
I guess I would also ask myself, like, do I want what this person is offering? Do I
Yeah.
actually want this person, not just a relationship? Do I want this person?
Yes.
And if I do, is my issue with them wanting to keep it casual because that means that they're dating other people and I don't want to share, or I'm not into that. Like, I want exclusivity, because that's
Right.
also a different conversation. You want exclusivity.
Right.
You get to have exclusivity if you want that. Like, you don't need to be worrying about diseases and just like
No.
jealousy and like waiting till the time is right. You can set that boundary. But if it's like you just want the promise of a relationship, then just keep going with it. See where it goes. If you like the person.
Yes. It's so much more about the person. And I think also when you vibe with a person, you vibe with a person.
Yeah.
Casual, not casual, whatever the fuck. Get out of the situation from this person what you want. And one of the things that I look back on my New York days and I regret is not being more casual about it. I think I had kind of a little bit of a rigorous, like, I was so, don't let yourself get to the point where you're so fucking thirsty for connection that connection means only one thing. Like, let yourself be fucking horny and go and get laid by like a person who you are attracted to.
Yeah.
Like, explore the different ways that, you know, loneliness can be cured. And the way that it was always cured for me was through my friendships.
I was gonna
Hands
say, if this person is like just wanting connection, I think they need to also cultivate like a friend group and like have people that she can talk to about stuff and not have it be like romantic or like in the context of dating or something like that.
That's why Sex and the City was so popular, and the show Girls, and any show that takes place in New York. It's all about
The friendships.
friends.
so
The
true.
show Friends.
Fuck.
Hello. Hello, friends. Hello.
That needs to be your
Central
voice.
Perk. Hello.
That needs to be your outgoing message in your voicemail.
This is my my daytime co-host. Hello, friends.
And now we cut to our this is like ABC News. Now we cut to live on the scene. We have Jana.
Live on the scene of Friends. Okay.
I have one more piece of advice for
Please,
you, which
please,
is tell your friends that you want a boyfriend. Tell them, hey, do you know
Ooh, I like
my
that.
boyfriend? Do you know him? Introduce us.
That's really powerful.
Can I tell
Tell
you
your
that
coworkers.
my
Tell everyone you
friend
know.
Lauren, who was my writing partner in New York City, we both were going through the loneliness together. She had more boyfriends while we lived there, but toward the end of our stint in New York, she said she would sit down and email all of our friends, BCC. No reply all function.
Oh my God.
Okay, and she would say, "Hey, I'm going through a single patch. I'm pretty lonely. Here's what I'm looking for. Here are some of the things that I like. You all know me very well. I'm reaching out to you to say, if you got anybody in your life that you want to set me up on a date with, I would be open to it.
That's the way.
That is
That's the way.
amazing.
Brave.
Hashtag brave."
Did it work? Did she get
Fuck.
some referrals?
I think she did get some referrals. But then, it's up to her. It's like,
Right.
as the friend, you get the email and you're like, I got this guy. You decide if you want to
Yep.
go out with him or
Well,
whatever.
this is what
but
you
like,
do when you need a dentist or
Yes.
a therapist. You say,
Yes.
do you like your therapist? let me
Yes.
hook me
Yes.
up, right?
Yes.
We ask our friends,
Which
for
is
their
why
resources.
I keep saying, Brian, I know we know so many therapists.
Yeah. I'm working up to it.
Tale as old as time. So I hope that this was helpful to our. Do you have
To
any
me?
more advice? To you, of course. It's always for Brian.
This was helpful. Do I have any more advice? I mean, I don't know. Not really. If this person's 20, she's probably in college, I would assume, or she's maybe working. But yeah, I think honestly, I feel like nobody moves. I feel like you moved to New York for a reason. And I think if you're in New York, you should double down on that a little bit and just see where that takes you in terms of just like friendships or just meeting people, and maybe you'll meet somebody along the way. And it's kind of like what we were talking about happens where you are like, wait, we have a lot of common interests. You're like fun to hang out with, to be around.
So basically, Brian, you're recapping our entire just episode right now.
Yeah.
Previously now on Sage-Based Wisdom.
I guess I missed the 20-year-old part, and that kind of like
It changed everything.
it changed everything for me.
I have one more piece
Why?
of advice that's new from the show today.
Brian, you're going to need to remember this so you can give us the recap.
Which is, I am a relationship therapist. I'm a certified Imago relationship therapist. I work with couples. That's what I do. And couples come to me because their relationships aren't going great. Don't get into a bad relationship just so you're in a relationship. A good relationship is what you're looking for. So just learn how to communicate. Learn how to say what you want. Learn how to set those boundaries. Learn what you want and what you need, and stand for it. And then you will find someone who is also into your stuff. Don't let them yuck your yum. Be in a good relationship, not just any relationship. Otherwise, you'll be paying me hundreds of dollars an hour for
So
years.
maybe
And I will thank you, but
to
yeah,
that
actually, never mind. I take that back.
Get a cat like Shazi, and also watch Love on the Spectrum if you want some training about how to fucking date.
Inspo.
That's
Be
where
you.
it's
Be
at.
your real self.
Yeah, be
Be
your real self.
Go to the beach during the summer. That's a great place.
Make a shirt that says, "I'm looking for a boyfriend."
Oh,
Wow.
do what I do. You can Google a sketch called "Woman Panhandles for a Date" on the subway in New York City. You'll find your girl literally panhandling for phone numbers on the A train. It was a highlight of my life.
Very funny sketch.
Minnie, is there anything that you would like to plug? And if people are interested in either your resources or your therapy or your services
Yes.
and or recommendations for people you know in your line of work, how can they find you?
You can reach out to me at therapywithminnie@gmail.com. I also have an Instagram of the same handle. I'm not going to give you my phone number here, but I'm sure it can be somewhere else in the notes or something. You can email me. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty full right now, but happy to consult with anybody.
Great.
Doing couples workshops. That's also something that I do have coming up in the future.
Love that. Reach out to Minnie. She's an expert and has given me excellent advice about my own relationship, and has always given me excellent advice, not just when she's become a professional therapist.
I recommend autistic kisses for everyone.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get into that. I think Steve will like that. Brian, do you have anything you need to plug?
We have our show in Portland.
Yes, we do.
May 24th, Saturday.
Saturday, May 24th.
Siren Theater.
Siren Theater. Come see us in Portland. We'll be doing some stand-ups.
Stand up Jana.
Are we going to be doing... We're not going to be doing Sage-Based Wisdom there. It's just stand-up.
I think it's just stand up.
Because you need to do your full thing.
We can do our full thing. I don't know. Could we?
I feel like you guys should do
we?
this together on a stage.
We could do this and your full thing.
too.
And maybe a smaller set from me. We can talk about this offline. We should plan this offline. But anyway, that is all the time we have today. If we hope our wisdom made your life a little better, and if it didn't, we will not be issuing refunds.
If you or anyone you know needs advice, has a question, or just wants to chat, leave us a message. There's 3 ways to do that, and you can find them all in the show notes.
Can you please send us questions? We need more people asking for advice. And I know that I've been saying this a lot on the podcast lately, but I want folks to really use that speak pipe link.
Yeah, it's completely anonymous, I feel like.
Completely anonymous.
We get none of your info. And I feel like I've run into a lot of people that are like, I've been meaning, I want to send you something. And I'm just like, send it.
Click on that link and send it. Without your request for advice, we don't have a podcast. So we need it.
Yeah.
So check out our show notes for the 3 different ways that you can do that. And we'll give you our smudgiest, sagiest solicited advice.
And as always, please rate and review us on iTunes and subscribe to our YouTube.
Thanks for tuning in, Toksha.
Hagone.